What does success look like for you? What's your vision of the paradigm of what success would look like?
Growth. Growth, 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 growth. I think that when you think about the type of company you are when you're growing, things look different, they feel different. And the most important piece is the heart and mind of the employees as they think about how they manage the business. And so this year, our emphasis is restoring that hunger, that desire, that execution that puts us in a growth mode.
What does it take for a company to grow, be different, and ultimately change the world? The answer may reside at AT&T Communications. Welcome. I'm Emmett Miller. From the telephone to the transistor to wireless networking and beyond, AT&T Communications continues to evolve and strive to be at the forefront of human technological advancement. But at no other time than the present day has the company faced such intense competition from traditional telecom rivals to established technology giants. With the recent acquisition of Time Warner, AT&T Communications is shaking the perception that it's just another telecom company by executing a bold strategy to lead the world in communications and technology while redefining how customers engage with media. The journey to learn more about this strategy and AT&T Communications' higher purpose begins with its CEO, John Donovan.
What we have to do is we have to get an A+ in the things that we're known for and we've always been known for. And so if you think about for 142 years, we connect people. People connecting in conversations and then connecting in voicemails and evolving into connecting with apps and social media and all of those things. I've never seen a better time or a bigger opportunity for us as a business to take advantage of what we've been and redefine who we are in a way that it can make such a big difference for society.
John Donovan, formerly the head of AT&T Technology and Operations, is largely known for transforming the company's network from its hardware-based infrastructure to one that's virtual, running on software. Donovan was tapped as CEO in August of 2017, and in his first town hall, he laid out his vision for 2018 and beyond. He did not mince words.
Let's dispel a myth that we aren't the best technology company in the world. We are. Stop apologizing for being big. It's okay to win. Stop confusing our compassion as a company for compassion in the marketplace. We need to stop the momentum, whether it's Comcast or Verizon, whether it's T-Mobile or Dish, that have run an open field without enough of a contest.
When you talk about AT&T Communications winning in the new world, how do you describe that new world? How do you describe who the competitors are?
Yeah, we have a three-front war to fight. The first is the war with our traditional competitors. And the traditional competitors are fierce. I mean, you have companies with long histories like a Verizon and a T-Mobile and a Comcast and a Dish. And so those traditional competitors are formidable. And the world is changing technologically, so we have a new class of competitors. And that's a whole second war because they don't play by the traditional way. And the third war that you fight is the war internally of culture. And if you fail at any of those fronts, then you're not going to be as successful as you can and should be.
You better bet carefully and correctly, and be a little bit ahead of the game.
Scott McNeely is the co-founder and former CEO of Sun Microsystems. Sun developed the Java programming language, and along with AT&T, helped to evolve Unix, the operating system at the heart of computers and internet servers, built by Sun, Intel, HP, and Apple Computer.
The big challenge for AT&T is how much value can you generate for your shareholders in just being a wireless company. There will always be decisions to be made about what advantages you can bring to the marketplace going forwards. Because if your strategy isn't controversial, everybody does it. If everybody does it, there's no differentiation. If there's no differentiation, you got no business. So you have to trust that it'll be controversial, but correct.
Donovan and his leadership team believe that just connecting customers to the fastest, most reliable network will be insufficient to chart the future of their business. Customers, for example, want more value and more fun for their connectivity dollar.
Is this AT&T Innovations?
Yeah, wow. This must be for one of our new unlimited wireless plans.
And in a series of new ads, the company's touting their new unlimited plans, bundled with premium content choices at no extra charge. But at the same time, internet companies like Google have entered the telecom business with their own wireless and fiber services for consumers and enterprise customers. And originally known for e-commerce, Amazon has entered the media business, embedding premier content into their online marketplace, aimed to keep people watching their favorite shows while browsing to buy their favorite products.
So the lines are blurring between what was traditional telecommunications, which was the connection, media, which is what is being communicated over that connection, and technology, which is really the infrastructure that makes all that work seamlessly. Those things are merging in a way where the distinctions are far harder to draw, and everybody seems to be, if not actually in everybody else's backyard, aspiring to be in their backyard.
What is your view of AT&T now in this new world order?
I've been fascinated with the fact that AT&T continues to make huge, courageous bets, big capital bets on the next generation technologies in order to protect the shareholder value and to protect their ability to continue to invest against every startup and every other competitor out there in other markets.
In this new era, where the telecom, media, and technology industries are now competing with one another, AT&T's bets to stand out are rooted in something the company's been refining for over a century. Through big cities and small towns, from atop remote mountains and under vast oceans, AT&T's network spans the globe, providing the lifeblood of the connected lives of millions around the world. For AT&T's enterprise customers in the United States, its ultra-fast fiber infrastructure is the largest, running within 1,000 feet of half the nation's businesses. And its new software-defined 5G network will connect everything from self-driving cars to safe, smart cities, as well as FirstNet, the nation's first-of-its-kind network, built from the ground up for first responders. This is undoubtedly a technology company on the move, with the volume of data flowing across its network increasing 360,000% since 2007. Half that data is now taken up by streaming video. And now that its parent company has completed its acquisition of Time Warner, now called Warner Media, AT&T Communications is seizing on brand new growth opportunities for business.
Amazon's CEO has said that when they win awards for video, it helps them sell shoes. So the idea is a customer consumes video, they're going to the site more, they're making recommendations for what you might buy. So every new customer doesn't only help the shopping, it helps the video, which helps the data, which helps the recommendations.
John Donovan calls this the flywheel, an organizational model where different parts of a business help each other generate revenue. He's now implementing the same approach with how AT&T Communications uses the data that flows across their network every day. As more people enjoy their favorite content from places like Warner Media or on mobile products like AT&T's DirecTV Now service, the better engagement the company will have with the customer.
And we have to use that to provide more relevant advertising data to the media company to build more relevant content. We start to use those to differentiate ourselves in the market. We win more customers, which creates more data, which creates better ads, which create lower price points for our customers, which allows us to add more customers.
It's this new relationship between AT&T's network, Warner Media's premier content library, and the advertising business now being created by the new AT&T company headed by Brian Lesser, that's enabling AT&T Communications to carry out its strategy to redefine how customers engage with media while creating the future of television advertising, an $80 billion industry. But the first step in competing in this new world, Donovan says, is a change in cultural mindset. You've said in order to return to growth in 2018, you do have to change the culture. You want to change the culture at AT&T.
Yeah.
What is the culture now as you see it, and what are you moving toward?
When you grow up in a culture that has a lot of controls and structure for efficiency, you tend to develop some habits that tend to slow you down. And that's the one, if you look right now, our cultural challenge manifested in something is speed. We're not going to get fast if we don't start trusting each other. If we still continue to think we need to be at every meeting, everything has to come through us, that somehow my folks can't operate without me. We need to recognize that they're as good at their job as you are at yours.
John Donovan has said, the world is changing so quickly and it continues to change at a faster rate. The acceleration is there.
Technology changes rapidly. We are a technology company. That means we, as the people behind the technology, better be changing just as quickly.
We sat down with Scott Smith, Chief Human Resource Officer for AT&T Communications. He leads talent acquisition, manages labor relations, and heads the company's reskilling efforts. Scott believes that the cultural shift to working faster against aggressive competition is reinforced not only by trust, but by transparency.
I can tell you, Emmett, that you have to keep reinventing yourself, and that's a hard message to give, and sometimes it's a hard message to receive. There's one priority, it's called equipping our people for the future. That's all around skills pivot and making sure that our employees are upskilling themselves and learning and being educated, not only for their jobs today, but for the jobs of the future.
As AT&T Communications transitions from telephone to technology company, the demand for software engineers, computer programmers, and data scientists has never been higher. And the company is committed to offering the tools employees will need for future success, coupled with transparency about the fact that the skills employees know today may not be enough to compete in future marketplaces. Smith was instrumental in creating the first massive open online course known as a MOOC. The course leads to a Master of Science degree, fully paid for by AT&T Communications. It's initiatives like these that bolster a new culture of learning, specifically aligned with the strategy of the business. Sounds like empowerment through transparency.
Very much so. Serving our employees is of the utmost importance. If they're engaging better with the business, they're going to be more innovative, they're going to be more accountable, and they're going to create better products and services. Then our customers are going to be more engaged because they see, hey, this company is providing me what I need for my life. It's all about serving first and leading through what you're doing.
And leadership efforts, like keeping the skills of its workforce up to date, are crucial to maintain the speed in which work gets done in an environment where competition has never been more aggressive. But empowering their employees to be their best also helps to foster what's needed now more than ever for the company, and that's love of the AT&T brand from the inside out.
There is a lot of data that shows the stronger the love is for your brand, the stronger the business result.
To learn more why love of the AT&T brand is so important, we traveled to New York City to meet up with Fiona Carter, Chief Brand Officer of AT&T Communications.
If I ask you to think of a famous brand in the US, number 7 is AT&T. Our awareness is super high, around the 90s. But then you get to what is called meaningfulness. That means how relevant is it to me and to my lifestyle? Well, we suddenly drop into the 70s. And then we talk about uniqueness. How different a brand is it? That is in the 30s. So that's the gap we have to close.
And closing that gap is essential to compete with companies like Google, Facebook, and Amazon, all internet brands that score in the 90s and above for meaningfulness in one's life. But why is this important? Because, as it turns out, love is good for business. Where does this sense of brand uniqueness correlate with brand love, and how important is brand love?
Well, there are brands you use every day, but you use them out of habit. You use them almost out of default. What we want is a brand that you have a deep, deep emotional connection to. I feel it's unique in my life, it's irreplaceable in my life. Brand love will allow forgiveness if there's a misstep in the brand. You can keep your customers longer, and it will actually draw new customers to the brand. You actually go out and tell your friends about the brand. So that's important to accelerate our business.
So if you take a snapshot of where the brand is now, what the perception of the AT&T brand is now, and where you would like it to be vis-a-vis brand love, what are those two values?
It's interesting, the wireless category has been traditionally talking about itself. It's about lines, speeds, feeds, data, gigabytes. And the true insight is really that we need to put the customer at the center of that by truly understanding and answering the needs that they have. People still think of the brand as a phone or a wireless company. The truth is that the brand and the business is so much more than that.
Which brings us here, Chicago, Illinois. It's the nation's third largest city, famous for its stunning architecture, rich arts and culture, and legendary sports teams. But it's also known for its struggle with rising economic inequality and gang violence. And it was where John Donovan spoke not too long ago with community leaders and some of the hundreds of AT&T employees who live and work across the city.
But I think the most important thing that a company and its employees can do is what we're doing here, to bring people together locally and go make a big difference.
It's here in Chicago that AT&T Communications has launched a concerted effort to help the city by hiring locally, provide mentoring to neighborhood youth, use existing AT&T stores as community gathering places, and expand their internal education and job training programs outwards to the local Chicago community.
How long do we plan on this project?
The rest of my life. It's going to be part of how we do business. It's just part of the thing that we do. It's going to be us, inseparable from how we operate.
The goal is to tell the ongoing story of AT&T's continued heritage of connecting people, in this case, with economic opportunities in the neighborhoods the company serves. To Donovan, it helps to build love of the brand, making it good for business and the right thing to do.
You have to promote yourself for the great company that we are outside of work. And I think we came up with a really great program that isn't just about people and donations. It's about taking our education platform and making it available in the local community to get people prepared for jobs, and then measure our supply chain on how effectively they're giving jobs to local folks. We opened a call center in Chicago. We hired 550 people, and for a lot of people, it's their foray into the workforce.
What better thing to be loved for?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, every company aspires to have passion. We have it. Very few companies can aspire to have compassion, which is the passion for others. And I think we've got a great opportunity to just take what we do, organize it a little differently, and get ourselves to make the kind of impact that will cause people to stand up and take notice.
And Donovan says that over time, AT&T Communications is planning to take what they're doing in Chicago to other cities all across the country. From differentiating themselves with the wonders of 5G and premier content, to transforming businesses in every sector and evolving AT&T's brand inside and outside the company, AT&T Communications is well positioned to lead the world in communications and technology while redefining how customers engage with media. And yet, it could be said, this strategy isn't new, but simply the continuing evolution of an iconic company built on 142 years of innovation and human technological advancement. For a company born in the 19th century to still be thriving in the 21st, it takes a timeless mindset that can be summed up with a final thought by the CEO of AT&T Communications, John Donovan.
There's a lot of reasons to win. One isn't just to play the game. One is so better people win. You know, better ideas win, better economics win, better assets win. People don't always think about the magic of better people winning.
Next on AT&T Strategy Update.
You know, I'm not sure you can go anyplace else and one, work with the people that we have today, the skill sets, two, have the leadership that we have that really believes in what we're doing, and three, has the technologists to drive the innovation. And I will tell you, the people here, they're on fire. These people here are motivated, they're inspired, they're going to go after it.
Driving technology and innovation, coming soon.